What's going on, YouTube? I'm going live on IG too. What's going on, fam? How is everybody? I've been on since last week. Been one crazy week. Well, I had a crazy weekend actually. I had an amazing weekend. I hope everybody else on here had an amazing weekend too. I was blessed enough to able bleh, blessed enough to be able to see my mentor Matt Rosa in San Antonio, and then he has a lot of connections in Dallas, and he told me that I definitely should see him in Dallas. So I drove to Dallas. When a mentor of yours says, "Hey, you should probably go do something," you do it, and a lot of people don't understand what a mentor is. But anybody that knows. Blessed enough to be in a platform with personal development, with um, trading, investing, crypto, stuff like that. And I never knew what a mentor was until like 3 years ago, honestly, because it's just not talked about in mainstream. And I love what a mentor is. I love masterminding. Got to go to an amazing mastermind up in Dallas with a lot of our top leaders in trading and digital entrepreneurship. So, and a lot of people were like, that aren't in the business ask, what is, a mastermind? A mastermind is where you actually sit around with like-minded individuals and brainstorm, or you actually hear about their stories, where they've been, what they've done, and how it, happened for them. And being blessed enough to be around tons of amazing mentors on in Dallas. Hi, Sam. It was great. I mean, I got to sit there with people all different ages, backgrounds, everything, and they got to talk about it. Their come up story. We all have a come up story, and that's why I'm on here on YouTube. Ooh, a lot of our mentors have amazing sessions all the time. They do them all over the country. If depending on where you're at, like I said, I'm in the San Antonio area, and I'm going to start doing my own sessions and stuff like that, and work on bringing some of these guys and girls into the area so they can tell their story. Because a lot of people see me, and why I get on here and tell my story is because I hate to say it, like, people judge. People see things and they only see the outside, or they don't know what really goes on internally. And so many people don't like to talk about their story because it's taboo. I don't care if you've been down and out, you've been depressed, you've lost somebody. Like, I have a lot of people that are on the team that have gotten hurt, that were supposed to be athletes, or they made some bad decisions and things just didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. And a lot of people don't talk about their story because they're ashamed. Read Actually, I listened to an amazing book, and it was talking about shame. And so many of us don't talk about our story because of shame. We made a decision and it didn't work out the way we wanted to. Or, you know, you feel like you fumbled because like you got hurt or something like that, so you couldn't go on to that next level. Or when you go through loss, a lot of times you have to grieve, and you might go through some depression and anxiety until you heal, and you really have to heal. And I did. Forever healing, forever gonna heal and grow, and it's a daily thing. Like, anybody that sees me post my posts, you see me post, that I'm working out, that I read. I'm working on eating better. I've just never gotten the whole diet thing down. I swear I need my meal preppers. I had meal prepped back in the day. That's how I actually met people. I had somebody meal prep for me. That's how I met people that got me into trading. Actually, they started trading first, and they got me in. So I might have to go back to meal prepping so that way I can feed my body the right nutrition. Because good intentions, I buy all this good food and say I'm going to eat great, and I either don't cook it, or I cook it and then don't eat it because I get busy, and that's just one of my weak spots for sure. So, when you look at a lot of things in life, it's different. We're all different, but so many of us want to come up but don't, because we're afraid to talk about our story. We're afraid to heal. We're afraid to admit we need help. We're afraid. There's fear in all of us. Like, what will people think? I know I'm always preaching on, if you go onto my IG, about not worrying about other people's opinions. And I preach about that kind of stuff because for so long, I did worry about other people's opinions. I did care. And it's still a daily thing I struggle with. Anybody will tell you that. But other people's opinions are a reflection of them and what they have going on inside. And people are like, what do you mean? Like, well, if they look at you and they say, oh, well, what you're doing is a scam, or oh my gosh, that's horrible decisions. By whose standards? By what standards? It's by something they were told, by something they know, by something they learn. It's a gauge of their life. I was actually talking to my good friend Julie. She's a mentor outside of New York City. We were talking about something that went on in her life, and there was just somebody that was being rude to her literally in the street. And like this woman was just straight up not a nice person to her. But at the end of it, like you feel bad for that person when they're mean to you like that, because you have to really look at them and be like, why are you so mean? Why are you so bitter at life? Like, what do you have going on that's so bad that you have to take it out on me, a person you don't know? And that's how even the people that we do know in life, when they tell us stuff sometimes, misery loves company, guys. It loves company. And they may not be telling you that they're going through stuff because nobody wants to talk about what they're going through. They don't want you to know that they're not doing phenomenal or they're not doing amazing. I lived like that for years. Even after Kyle died, I didn't talk about being a widow. I didn't talk about what I went through because I didn't want people to know that I hurt, that I wasn't amazing, great, phenomenal. Like, I just didn't want people's judgment. So I just walked around and said everything was great, everything was amazing. And it really wasn't. I was working on healing on the inside. So once I really feel like I could talk about it, I was like, I have to share this kind of stuff because so many people walk around and don't talk because of fear of judgment and fear of being looked down upon, or they just don't feel like they're doing what society wants them to do. And I'm telling you right now, society is lost. And that's my favorite thing I like to tell people. Society is so lost. I don't want to say don't value their opinions, but I said, if I had $1 for every the past 7 years, I'd have racks on racks on racks. They just don't matter. And I don't have a ton of family and stuff like that. So I know it's hard when it's your mom telling you something, your dad, your sister, your cousin, your significant other. But if you have something that's bothering you in life, like you have to pursue things that are going to make you happy. Pursue things that are going to help you get better. I don't care if it's the gym every day. I don't care if it's eating better. I don't care if it's just breaking a cycle. Like, because a lot of people say, well, I've always done this. Was that working for you? Then if it's not working for you, like change it. If you don't ever start anything, you'll always be in the same place. If you don't ever ask something, it's always no. And when I really started like living in that kind of stuff, I'm like, I lived in those, like, they call it like a paradigm. You live in a paradigm where I'm like, oh, well, it's always been like this. Well, shit, I wasn't happy. So why am I staying in that paradigm? When my husband had died, when he killed himself, like I looked around and I wasn't really happy selling health insurance. I just wasn't happy in life. I didn't know who I was, and I was like, well, nobody left to take care of. My mom had passed, dad passed, It's finally time to take care of me. Like, what do I like to do? What do I want to do? I had no idea. And it even took me like probably a year to ask myself those questions seriously. Like, I went into survival mode because I had to get things done and take care of arrangements and just take care of bills and be a big girl when he died and figure out how to live life and just be on my own. And just doing that some days when you're on your own, it's rough. But I had to have faith that it was going to work out. I had to have faith that things were going to go right, because my mantra was, I'm not going to just survive through this, I'm going to thrive. And if you know the difference between survival and thriving, survive means you're going through the motions, because for a year I survived. I went through the motions and made sure I ate and made sure I got shit done, and I was learning a new skill set. But thriving through something, it means you're going to take whatever is bad, fix it, and make it amazing. And it's hard. And I had to not just eat and work on, just eating literally to survive. I had to start eating a little bit better. My diet choices have gotten a smidge better, but like I said, I'm not where I want to be. I was a mess with my schedule, so I had to get a schedule. I was already trading and doing things like that, but I was doing it at all hours, and it just wasn't where I wanted to be. I used to be a really structured person, and now I have a Google Calendar, and I'm a little bit better. Am I perfect? No. but I had to schedule myself out for stuff because I wanted to go to the gym. I needed to figure out what my Zen was. And they say when you start to actually like do what you're going to say you do, it's not just having other people appreciate you or it's not looking for outside validation, but when you can stick to what you say you're going to do to yourself and not let yourself down, my God, is that an amazing feeling. And then you stop looking outside for outside validation after a while. It's so powerful. Like when I follow my schedule to a T and I get my like morning routine down, which is my motivation, my walks, like trading. I listen to Morning with Neno, which is my other mentor. He is an amazing mentor. Neno, he's definitely mindset motivation, but and then I work on my Etsy shop, which is my digital entrepreneurship, and then I work with my team and I get everything done. It's such an amazing feeling. So like the past 2 days though, because I was traveling and like I said, I was up in Dallas, I haven't been spot on. So my energy's a little off. I'm gonna be completely transparent. It was whooped today. Definitely whooped because like I said, I didn't eat right. Going up to Dallas, I didn't sleep right. I'm like, oh my gosh. So hopefully today was like my last recoup day and I can start going back to being regular high energy, high vibe and Jill. But you need sleep, you need to rest and recover. And our actual mentor, Matt Rosa, was talking about it. He's like, when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times people say, just go. You don't got the hustle. You don't got the hustle. You need rest. When you do things without enough rest, enough food, you don't do them as well. You really don't. And any of my team can vouch for it. I'll tell them, like, take a day off, sleep, recoup, but don't stop. You have to take a day to rest. We don't stop. We pause for a minute to get better, to feel better. Even if it's a mental day, like if you have a breakup, if you have, somebody that's sick, you have something going on in you sometimes need that pause. And we only pause, we don't stop. As an entrepreneur, you need to take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of your crew? Who's going to take care of your business? And I'm all about that grind and hustle. I am all about that grind and hustle. And like my good friend Robert yesterday was saying, he was like, yo, I'm beat, this and that. I was like, I couldn't. I had a ton of appointments booked because I had a few days where, like I said, I wasn't in our normal situation. So I ran pretty hard yesterday. Did I get to the gym? No. I got to for my walk though. And like today, it caught up with me. And I do need self-maintenance stuff done. And I know it's going to sound silly, but I need like pedicure. I finally got my nails done. I need like my lashes done. Like I need to take care of me. And that's just maintenance stuff. Everybody says, oh, it must be nice to do that stuff. It's actually just listening to a Kevin Gates quote. And he said, that's maintenance. Like self-love is where you sit with yourself. And that's like my walks, my gym time, stuff like that. Like that's really my Zen and self-love stuff. So I have to get my maintenance stuff done for me. And then, my other things done for just the crew and things like that. And yesterday I packed my schedule out for that. And today I had to take a step back and really, I needed a little extra R&R so that way I could grind and hustle. But guys, we have to stop living in fear. We have to live in faith. And a little while back, I was talking to an amazing friend of mine. His name is Afa. I actually spoke with him today. Afa is just like very good friend. He's an amazing person as a human, and anybody that's on my trading squad knows him. But he's a great trader. He's a great dad. He's a great husband. And he would always say, you can't have two masters. I was like, what the hell does that mean? And I wasn't always spiritual. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of personal development and learning stuff. And it's faith versus fear. And, they always say your thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts are so powerful because what you think becomes what you speak becomes your actions. What you do becomes habits. So if you're thinking about something all the time, you're going to start talking about it and doing stuff with it. And those things become habits. So like I really try not to talk negatively or let negativity in my space because they always say the only thing we have complete control over in this life is our thoughts. And let that one really hit you. The only thing you have complete control over in this lifetime is your thoughts. And when they said that, I was like, damn, that's so true. And I've read it in numerous books. And they say you got to protect what you're around. Because even if it's somebody else talking about something and they're in a pissy mood or a bad mood, and trust me, I'm human, I get in those moods when I don't sleep or eat. And God, Robert can vouch for that, because this weekend he spent time with me and I was cranky at some point and I felt horrible. But I'm like a 2-year-old. If you don't feed me or get me the right sleep, I can get a little anyway. You can't put yourself around negativity, though. You really can't, because if they're talking about it, you're hearing it, and you can't almost unhear things. Like when somebody's talking about something, it's out there in the environment, and even if you're like, oh, I wasn't listening to them, your subconscious mind still hears that kind of stuff. I don't like to be around negativity at all, and I spent years being negative. Like when I really look back, I'm like, I put myself in a lot of situations because of bad thoughts or odd thoughts. Not odd, but they were bad thoughts, because I was never taught really to watch what you think. I was taught to watch your mouth. You don't say bad stuff, like as a kid. Like we don't say bad words. And if anybody knows me, I have a mouth like a sailor. I will never curse at you. I just curse though. And I'm doing better, especially being on live and stuff now, to not curse. Swear it's an East Coast thing, and I'm trying to break that so bad. And I hate saying the T words. That's 10 push-ups. I know. I got to go to the gym. But I'm doing my best to not curse as much. It's definitely something I really need to break. But being on fear and things like that, so many people will speak fear into your dreams. And I'm not saying don't sit around people that, a lot of times it's your own family, your own friends. Oh yeah, vibe up. That's exactly, you gotta vibe up. But when you're sitting there and you're around certain friends or certain family, they will speak negativity about your dreams and your hopes. You got to surround yourself with the right people. And as a trader, as a digital entrepreneurship, when I say I have mentors and groups, we have groups, and it's so positive and it's not fake. Like when I first got into this, I was like, there's not that many positive people out there. There is. And we all look, we're all looking for that home, because we all want to go to that next level, that next dream, that next stream of income. Like we're all looking for that space and those people that have the same aspirations as we do. Because like when you go outside into the real world, and like I'm a trader, so I don't go out into the real world a lot of times. I do to do events or to go places, but at the same time, I, for the most part, hang out with just traders or investors or people along those lines. So when I start to go out and interact with people that don't do that, I'm like, why is everybody so cranky? I'm like, why is everybody in a bad mood? I don't understand it. Because when we go out into the real world and you say, hey, how are you? Because I do ask people how they are. They're like, oh, so horrible or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing phenomenal. I usually am. I mean, I have my bad moments, but I don't have bad days anymore. Like I learned it finally how to more respond than react to things. And that was one of the hardest things with your own emotions. You have to really learn how to respond and not react. And when you say that to people, they look at you like you're crazy when you tell them you're actually doing good. Because they're like, oh, I wish I had energy like you, or I wish I was always doing good. Like my one neighbor used to say that, and I'd be like, you can be. And she would just look at me. So like blow her mind. But if I said to them like, oh, I'm doing horrible, I had a shitty day, like they'd be like, oh man, I can so relate. And like they just relate with that. Like misery loves company. It blows my mind, because even when I was younger, when I was still nursing and stuff like that, I'd walk into work and people would be like, how are you doing today? I'd be like, phenomenal. Unbelievable. Yes. Unbelievable. And like when I went into nursing though, they'd be like, are you always this happy? And I'd be like, I am. Why? They'd be like, how? I'd be like, why do you want to be mean and mad and cranky? So, people have just always, I've just been different. I've been different my whole life, and I like it. I'm going to say I really did, for a long time, try to dim my light and be like the crowd and fit in. And I'm not a sheep. I'm really not. I'm a shepherd, and I know I am. But it took me many, many years to see that. It really did. And stepping into that kind of light, a lot of times you're going to get like backlash off of it, because so many people want you to stay down here with them, whether it's family, friends, coworkers. When they see you level up, they will try to pull you back. They really will. And I may say they don't pay your bills, they don't do this, they don't do that. The thing is, guys, Sometimes you have to have that season of separation. Nano speaks on it. Matt Rosa speaks on it. So many people speak on a season of separation. I'm not saying you got to cut them off or cut them out of your life. But if you're climbing a mountain and you have people that are literally pulling at your pant legs as you're climbing this mountain, that climb's going to be a lot harder. And like I said, you can't have those blinders on and things like that. In your ears, you got to control the thoughts and the words that are around you so that way you can keep yours positive, so you can keep your goals. I don't care if you're writing your goals down. I don't care if you're listening to, I like to listen to I am mantras when I sleep. I do like sleep meditation. I'll put it on in the background and it's set to certain frequencies and things like that. And there's positive I am affirmations in it when I sleep. I used to sleep with music on, and if you really listen to some music, some lyrics are a little dark. So I don't want that in my mind when I sleep. I love my music, so I'll never tell somebody, don't listen to music. I like to listen to music. I like to listen to audibles and other stuff too, but it's definitely a lot that changed in the past 3 years. Like if you'd have told me 3 years ago I'd be listening to I am mantras, like when I would sleep, I didn't even know what that meant. I would have been like, what's a mantra? Mantra is something you speak when you're going through stuff, or you're speaking things into existence and you're claiming them. And everybody says fake it till you make it. I don't believe in faking it till you make it. I believe in facing it till you make it. Like every day you got to get up and show up. Even only to be 1% better than yesterday. I don't care if it's that you finally got up and you read 10 pages in your book today, or you read 11 pages in that book today, or you went to the gym and did one extra pull-up. But my goal is one pull-up by myself by the end of the year. Anyway, goals. I don't care if you got up and you studied the charts a little harder, or you looked for one more prospect, or whatever your 1% better is, but show up. You have to show up every day. You have to have faith you're going to show up every day. You can't fear things. I almost feel like, when my friend Alpha was saying you can't have two masters. Two masters is fear and faith. Which one are you going to listen to? And you can't. They're like little devils and angels on your shoulder. They really are. For so long I lived listening to fear. Well, if you do that, they're going to say this. If this happens, they're going to say it. Who's they? And why do I care? This one over here saying, do it. Everything you want is on the other side of, that talking to that one more person or making one more friend. You never know who's going to know who. They say you're always like, 6 people away from knowing like whoever. 6 connections. Like when I was up in Dallas, just talking to amazing people that are in the company and in business, like they're all different. We got realtors, we have barbers, we have people that own their own clothing lines, brands, so many ventures. But if you don't get around people and talk to people about your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, you're not going to know who's going to be able to help you. You guys, if you're in a bad relationship and like your significant other is not encouraging your dreams and goals, and I'm not saying quit your job and stuff like that. Like, yes, if you're a husband, a wife, and like you have kids, like, yes, you still have to meet your needs, but there's still, usually most people work 8-hour days. Some work 12, don't get me wrong, but they usually have an extra day after in the week. You want to do a side hustle? Take an extra 2 hours out of that day instead of scrolling TikTok or watching a show on TV or something like that, and put it in. Put it into your dreams. Put it into your goals. I don't care if it's about learning a second language because, you're going to get a pay raise at your job when you become bilingual or trilingual. Gosh, I live in Texas. I so need to learn Spanish, and I've been speaking on this for forever. I just need to go get like a Rosetta Stone and learn it. And I have so many people on my team that speak Spanish. I just need to do it. I need to stop talking about it and put the action in. So that's one of my goals. Not this year. Next year, not this year. My plate is definitely already full, and I love how full it is. And I just absolutely, like I said, run into new opportunities all the time. Anybody on here probably can tell me how many streams of income does a millionaire have. Yeah. So I'm working on another stream of income right now. Like, God, trading and investing into Forex and crypto has just led me down a path that has opened so many doors for me of things that I never even knew existed. I didn't know about Forex and crypto years ago. And my significant other didn't really want me to know about other things, really wanted me to just be, gosh, that's what I mean, like, yeah, And that's exactly the thing. Like, you master one thing at a time, and then you can stack it. You can build off things. That's what I tell people. Like, don't come in and try to be, 19 streams of income, because you'll overwhelm yourself. There's plenty of time. Time is the one thing. If you use it well, it will be a good thing. So many people waste their time. So many people just give that away freely. And it is one of the most precious things I've ever had. And I don't know if I'll have to post it on my page if he's ever really did it. If you want to make even $1 million, you could break down how much each second is worth, especially if you want to make $1 million a year. It's crazy how precious your time is. And so many people just sit there and waste it on silly things like watching. I'm not saying don't watch any TV, but they watch 4 or 5 hours of TV a night, and they play on TikTok for hours. Now, I'm not saying don't be on TikTok, but if you're gonna be on TikTok, at least try to become a producer too and make some money off of TikTok. People are making bank off of TikTok, off of IG, off of Facebook for posting content. If you're posting content, go all in and make some money off of it. Especially if you're spending that many hours on there. If you look at your TikTok or your IG and you got massive hours on there and they're not paying you, there's something wrong. And when somebody was really telling me that, I was like, that makes sense. And like, I looked at how many hours I had on IG and TikTok. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I need to be getting paid for this stuff. But the thing is, you're already on there that much. Now you just have to post a little bit more content. You're already on there. Why not? It's amazing. And then you can become, a producer. So you're actually getting money from it. So while you're on there, it's paying you. It's great. But some of you are like, I can't do that. And those T words are horrible. And I'm like, why can't you do that? I'm like, I don't understand. My brain, my whole life has never been wrapped around that. And trust me, I'm not good at a lot of things. But if you say, hey, you should try this, I'm like, well, okay. And I will give it my all. I'm not the most coordinated person whatsoever, but I do my best. Like, saying I can't do something is not in my vocabulary. Like, I joke with people, like, if I really want something and I can't find somebody to mentor me right away or like teach me how to do something, I will fumble my way through till I meet somebody that knows the process or that can help me with my process. Because when I see something I want, I go for it. And people are going to be like, well, how are you going to figure it out? I'm like, I don't know. And once you start, speaking to God or the universe, whatever you're saying, you're like, man, I really want to learn how to do this. Help me out. It's crazy the doors that open up for the people that you meet, and they're like, oh, I did this, or oh, I know how to do that, or whatever. And you're like, wow, really? And like, the universe just put you in front of the right people at the right time all the time. Like, there's no reason. And I really look back at all my details and everything that I went through in life. Like, for me to be in Texas doing investing and trading and becoming like a social media influencer and get involved in real estate, like, that wasn't even in my cards. My parents always preached to me, like, anything you want, you can do. And I'm like, well, how? They were very poor, so they didn't know. And they're like, just go for it. They're like, work hard, go for it. And that's the only thing that I've ever done is, if you stand still, you're always going to be in that same spot. So when I wanted something, I've always taken one step forward. You just have to keep taking one step forward. And have faith you'll end up where you're supposed to be. I have been through such crazy stuff in my life. Unbelievable stuff. And like, I wouldn't change it all. Any of it. I wouldn't. Because if I didn't go through one of those things, it's like The Butterfly Effect. If you've never seen it, it's an absolute amazing movie. But like, one little ripple, one little change in any of it, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have met any of the great people that helped me, get to college, through college, nursing degrees. I may have not had the best marriage, but my marriage got me to Texas. Then when everything fell apart, the people that I met because of my marriage not being so great got me through that, which got me to this point. It's just crazy. And if you took one of them away, like, nothing would be the same. You have to have faith that things are working out in your favor. And I know when you're in that storm, gosh, there's anxiety, there's depression, there's just crazy thoughts. But that storm is really preparing you for something. And even if it's to prepare you to write a book to help the next person that goes through a similar storm like you, or to become a public speaker like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Bob Proctor, Rick Thompson, the hip hop preacher, your story's important. And if you motivate one person, that's so amazing. You just have to have faith that everything you're going through is going to be worth it. You have to keep going. Don't settle for anything, guys. You deserve the world with a fence around it. You really do. And I always say, don't promise me, the sky's the limit. There's footprints on the moon. I want to go to the moon. Sorry, phone calls coming through. I want to go to the moon. The sky's not the limit. There's so much more beyond that. But you have to take action. You can't just sit there and think and pray and hope. You have to take action. If ever you Google something and then you find somebody in the area that does something like that, and if it's some type of small business type of thing, a lot of these small business or startups will talk to you about how they got started. I was blessed enough when I did health insurance to network up in Stone Oak, Texas, and I met so many women. It was the Stone Oak Ladies Business Association, and God, it was great. I got to meet so many women that started things like franchises, and some ladies that came over from Mexico and bought some land and started their own wives are down like restaurant, and she bought land in an area that wasn't big then, and it's taken off, and she took a chance. She literally came over on money from her making jewelry and selling this jewelry to get her over here. And she's like, I didn't know what I was going to do when I got here. And when she got here, she was still selling jewelry when her business wasn't doing so well to supplement her income. But her food is so good. If you guys ever come to San Antonio, I'll take you to a restaurant. Her food is so good. But I got to meet all these amazing women that they had crazy stories, and they made it. And guys, it doesn't matter if it's guys, girls, anybody, same thing. Crazy stories make you who you are. You can do anything you want. And the worst part was I was networking with these ladies, and I was still married, and God, I hate to say I was not happy with my life whatsoever, but they really had given me hope that as long as I kept going, the right doors were going to open. I was going to figure it out, that I wasn't alone, and that it was so worth it. And those days are your hard days, and when you're going through those storms, and just to say, gosh, I know all this is worth it. Having that faith when you're going through the storm, that is the hardest thing you'll ever do. My friend told me one time, when you're going through the storm, you don't go outside and fix the roof if you have a leak. You put a bucket down and you just wait. Because you can't always do something in the storm. You have to stay calm during the storm and fix it after the storm. Or what did you learn from that storm? And when I went through all of that stuff I went through it from, I don't know, my life was crazy from 2015 to now. And I swear it's good crazy now, but it was not so good in 2015. When I was in those storms, I used to just pray to the universe, to God, and say, man, I need something different. I need help. This isn't life. Because I knew that wasn't happy, and I knew that wasn't love, and I just knew there was something better, and I had faith. And that's the only thing I swear that kept me getting out of bed every day was faith that things were going to work out, that I was going to find my happy. Boy, did I have to go through a lot more to find my happy. Crazy. But every day, you have to figure out what makes you happy. And I hate to say it can't be a person. What makes you happy internally. If you're looking outside for happy, it's not it. And they always say, the attitude of gratitude and serving other people gets you what you want in life. And I love helping other people. So it really does. Because anytime I've given in life and helped other people, those people may not have giving me something in return. But the universe has blessed me with that new opportunity, that new option to figure out the next step in my life. And I always say, if you're not growing, you're dying. And like every day I grow and I learn something new or just figure out life. It's crazy. But I'm so grateful to be able to do that and meet like-minded people who want to run it up like me. I'm like, sheesh. I'm like, I'm so grateful for that. And then I might meet like-minded people that aren't sure if they want to run it up or how they want to run it up. But it's meeting other connections, other people that want to do something more than the average person. And I don't knock the average person because God, my parents were factory workers. I went to school, got a degree, and worked a job, 10 years. And I don't knock average. Like, gosh, if you're happy, the overall faith and fear, guys, I wish they taught this in school, is whatever you're going to do in life, make sure you're happy. Don't base it on what you have or what you could get or this and that. Like monetary rewards, money comes and goes. Money comes and goes in a heartbeat. And I'm not going to say that I know money makes the world go around, and trust me, I get it. I'm not knocking that at all because I've had no money and lots of money and I've been in between. But don't base it off a monetary reward because money comes and goes real quick. And if you're doing something for a monetary reward, you'll be forever chasing that. And they call it like the white rabbit. You'll be forever down that rabbit hole because you'll never have enough money. You'll never have enough possessions or to impress people. You got to do things that make you happy. And I always tell people, gosh, I'm going to be 37, but what's what I want to be when I grow up? I want to be happy. That's it. I want this happy look like. That's financial freedom. That's traveling. There's a lot to happy. Don't get me wrong. One day I'll have to do a what does happy mean to me type of a session. And everybody has their own definition, but what makes you happy? Like, really? Is it being able to travel when you want, spend time with the family when you want, like go to a restaurant, not, it's horrible. Not looking at like the prices. I remember being a kid and being on welfare and having to make sure we had enough food stamps to actually get like what my sister needed for lunch. So like one of my goals is never to go to the food store again and have to bring out a calculator and make sure I have enough money to pay at the register, I'm not saying I'm buying bougie stuff. I'm just saying regular food. It's happy, Are you healthy? Because I'm telling you, like they say, like you can't take money with you. You can't take possessions with you. Health is wealth. That's number one. And I got to get my butt to the gym. But it's one of those ones, guys, you got to have that faith. Got to have the faith that everything you're doing, as long as you're doing it with good intentions and a good heart, is going to get you right to where you need to be. You might be like, what does that even mean? You may end up somewhere and you might be like, why am I here? It's to meet that person that's going to get you to that next level. It's to get that lesson that you really needed so that way you could achieve your next goal. You could achieve your next dream. And when you're going through it, you're just like, why did I meet this Susie person? Or why did I meet this person? And you're just like, yeah, I don't understand. Don't try to figure everything out. And that was my biggest problem. One of my bigger problems too. I always wanted to know why. Why is this happening? Let go. We can't control everything. Gosh, I know that's so hard for so many of us. We can't control everything. Just have faith that things are going to work out in your favor. Keep grinding. Keep hustling. Keep pursuing your dreams. Keep doing your routine. Work out. Trust me, you're not going to go to the gym and become a fitness model in 2 weeks. And everybody knows I'm going to the gym for forever. I'm very happy with how I look, but like still really don't have guns, but it is what it is. I almost have abs and I almost can do a pull-up. And I've been going to the gym for like a good 3 years. But I never worked out before that. Never played sports. I had a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. I'm looking actually for a new trainer that can work with me during the day. So if any of you are trainers in the San Antonio area, hit me up. Let's talk. Because I definitely need a new trainer. Like 3 days a week. Anyway. Goals for sure. But guys, make sure you have faith in what you do. Love what you do. It's absolutely crazy when you're in these storms and like you just say, what if? No, what if? Just be like, be happy and grateful for what you do have. Be happy and grateful for where you're going. You know you're going somewhere amazing, but you gotta keep going. If you step in that storm, it's gonna keep raining on your head. Keep going, keep driving. You're gonna drive out of it. Great country song, you know. Going through hell, don't stop. Keep going. Just keep going. Anyway, guys, thanks for getting on here with me. I will be on Friday at 3. And like I said, as long as I'm not traveling Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to be on here at 3 live on IG, on YouTube. I appreciate you all for hopping on today, liking this. Anyways, on my YouTube, make sure you like this video, subscribe, follow me, turn on those notifications, share this to people that may need it. Because I know I'm not the only one that goes through storms. I'm not the only one that's been to hell and back. It's definitely a journey, and sometimes when you're going on it, you feel so alone. You're not at all. So guys, anyway, I love you lots, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a phenomenal day.